Gary Gray and his staff at Gray Communications helped us in some of the early formulation of our teaching. Bob and Jonna Hale of Life Ministries have been enthusiastic about this material since we first began talking about it. Mary Munger interpreted the stanzas with her professional artwork. Mike and Linda Richards, Elizabeth Griffin, and Dave Carter have all in their own way supported us. Finally, the journey of this book has been prayerfully encouraged and supported by the entire Zondervan family. For the last 15 years, we have been blessed to know our editor, Sandy Vanderzeit. This is the third book of ours she has graciously shepherded through completion. Thanks, Sandy, for affirming us, choosing us, and including us in your work. Mark and Debbie Laaser, Eden Prairie, Minnesota, September 2008.
Introduction. Our lives are shaped by the things we desire. Thomas Merton. We believe that God created us with 7 basic universal desires. Each of us desires to be heard and understood, to be affirmed, to be blessed, to be safe, to be touched, to be chosen, and to be included. Having and fulfilling these desires validates our very existence. If these basic desires are fulfilled, we will enjoy a deeper and richer relationship with God and with others. God put the 7 desires deep inside our souls for good reasons. When we understand our desires and realize that they are the same for everyone, we can live in deeper and more meaningful community. Finding our commonalities draws us toward one another. Giving and receiving these desires allows us to connect with each other in truly intimate ways. Understanding our desires also helps us discover our true need for God. He is the only one who can truly satisfy our desires at the deepest level of our soul. But there is a problem with our 7 desires. They are so deep in our souls, we don't always consciously understand that they are there. We feel them in our hearts, and we ache for them to be fulfilled, but we don't know the source of that ache. Instead of accepting the fact that we have pain and loneliness because our desires are unfulfilled, we lead lives of quiet loneliness and frustration, lives laced with anger and bitterness. We hurt and we long for something more, but we often don't even know what that something more is. Often we look to our relationships to fill us up. It is not wrong, of course, to expect fulfillment and happiness from our closest relationships, but we run into trouble when we ask those relationships to do too much. In this book, we want to suggest first that God is both the creator of and the ultimate fulfillment of these 7 desires. Second, only when we look to God first to fulfill our desires can we then also find our desires met by other people. When we look first to friends and family to fulfill our desires, we are setting ourselves up for disappointment. But offering our desires first to God frees us to also have our desires met by other people, and to meet their desires too. Before we go further, let us tell you a little bit about ourselves. We have been married for 35 years, having originally met in high school. Mark was trained as a pastor and counselor. He worked in his field for 15 years until he was intervened on for sexual addiction and went to inpatient treatment. When Mark returned home from treatment, we both committed to counseling for ourselves individually as well as for our marriage. We were referred to a local therapist, Maureen Graves, who had been trained personally by Virginia Satir. Satir has been considered by many to have been one of the greatest family therapists of all time. Mark remembers his first session with Maureen. He was frightened and ashamed that Maureen would judge him for his moral failures. After telling her his story, she said to him, "Mark, to do all of those things, you must have been in a lot of pain." Maureen had already begun to use Satir's model with Mark. For Satir, the problem is never about behaviors. It is always about deeper issues that create that behavior.
Over the years, as we have worked with Maureen, we feel extremely blessed that she was our therapist. Through her, we felt like we got to know